G'day guys, PeetyG's was checking in here once again for PGTV for my top 5 in 5. Episode 3, most improved players in the OCE region in the last 6 months. I know that there's a lot of improving going on in the region right now, the standard's increasing, so I wanted to get across who I believe has taken the biggest steps in their own personal development. Number 5, Inject from Avant-Garde. This guy's been around for a fair while. I think he came into the scene at roughly 2015 towards the end. He really floated around in a few innocuous teams for a while and didn't really get any results, but in the last 6 months in particular, you can tell he's starting to have some impact. Avant-Garde have had some noticeable results and some noticeable upsets, and usually when they do, he's a big part of the reason why. Very impactful, very mobile, he's got good mechanics, and he has quite fast reaction speeds. Isn't the most consistent player in the world yet, but who is in terms of AWPers these days. So he is very much on the up and up, and he gets my number 5. Number 4, Kalf from Sin Gaming. Now, again, this guy sort of came from nowhere, and he's actually become the best player in a CGP team. I can't think of the last time someone really kind of slipped under the radar for so long and then became like a standout player in a CGP team. Usually there's a veteran there that's controlling the pace and controlling the tempo, but Kalf has just done an amazing job of, I guess, adapting his game to what his team needs, and he's been performing very well. May not always top frags, although you can usually find him near the top of the scoreboard, but his overall improvement has been noticeable. Number 3, Gratisfaction from Greyhounds. People might be shocked at this. Like, man, Gratis has been good for ages. Yeah, but I don't know if you've been paying attention, he's been really good lately. Like, proper good. Not only in online tournaments, but also on LAN, in big moments. When his teams needed a pick or him to deliver, he's been extremely clutch. And that's something that I thought was missing from his game. He really needed to work on, and as he's played more and more LAN tournaments, he's just gotten better and better with some experience underneath him. Huge shout out must go to Urcast in particular, who has done a great job of giving him looks early on in his Greyhound and Immunity career, and Dexter obviously is the in-game leader now, so he's getting a good amount of support there from the opposition. So congratulations, Gratisfaction, for being the third most improved player. Number 2, it's going to surprise a lot of people, but it's Sicko from Kings Gaming. And similar to the reason, you're like, well, how can he be the most improved? Second most improved if he was always pretty good. Well, like, he was pretty good. But again, have you guys been paying attention to what actually has been going on? This guy isn't just picking up the slack from Hats and from Liaz anymore in this team. He's going out and he's becoming a dominant force, getting that entry pick with the AWP on many maps and many different situations. I think that he's benefiting a truck ton from the support that's put around him, but at the same time, you can't just undermine the efforts that he's put in to transform himself from someone that had huge amounts of talent but minimal game impact into someone that has good amounts of talent and also a good amount of game impact. So from that perspective, I think that Sicko has really turned the corner, and his team and everyone involved with the Kings organization has done a great job of using the specific skills that he has to their best advantage and really finding a good, comfortable position where he can succeed. Number 1, and this is going to be pretty crazy for some people to try and wrap their heads around, because it's hard to cast your mind back 6 months to what this guy was and now what he is, but I don't think there can be any denial that the most improved player in the last 6 months in the entire OCE region has been Ins from Chiefs. Guys, we all knew the guy had skills. We all knew he had mad aim. Did anybody see that North series coming? Like, did anybody see it coming? Nobody did, as far as I can tell. I don't think even Ins saw this thing coming. He absolutely beasted and feasted at the biggest event Australia has ever had here on the shores. So from that perspective, he can't be denied the most improved player, because when you are considered good, but you go out and play at a level that a lot would consider a star player to play at, like an international star player. I'm not saying he's that standard all the time. I'm saying that purely by virtue of the fact that he displayed a level of skill and dominance over such a quality opponent in such a big moment for Australian Counter-Strike, there can be no denial that if 6 months ago you had told me that he could do that, I would have said no way. But having lived through it and seen it with my own eyes, you cannot deny the fact that INS is the most improved player over the last 6 months. Guys, that has been 5 minutes. I'm getting better and better at narrowing these margins down. Tell me what you think, and I know that I said I would do the top 5 orgs for the OCE region, but that's a troll. Ain't never coming out of my mouth. It's too hard. We'll catch you next week on PeetyG's Top 5 in 5.